Today we'll be doing a review of the Vizio P Series Quantum 2021. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. We bought and tested the 65-inch model, but it's also available in a larger 75-inch size. We expect this larger size to perform very similarly, although it does have a few more local dimming zones, but we'll talk about the impact of this in the review. The design of the TV has evolved a bit from last year's model it replaced. The feet are designed to hold a soundbar on top, and it offers two height positions for the TV, so you can put one here without blocking the screen. The inputs are located on the right-hand side, and the standout here is HDMI 3 and 4, which are labeled 4K 120Hz for high bandwidth HDMI 2.1 support. We'll talk more about this and many of the bugs we experienced in a moment though. Other than that, the inputs are standard, and HDMI 1 supports eARC for an audio return channel to play sound from the TV through an external soundbar or speakers if you have it. The back of the TV has a standard 400 by 200 Vizio mount, and the average profile sticks out a bit if wall mounted. The build quality of this TV actually feels surprisingly good, with metal around the frame. The majority of the TV is plastic and not too interesting though. Now let's dive into the tests. A high native contrast allows for deep blacks and improved picture quality in a dark room, and this TV performs very well with its VA-type panel, so dark scenes are deep and detailed. Local dimming is a feature to further improve performance in dark scenes by dimming sections of the backlight. The implementation is decent and it does improve the picture quality overall, but there's still some blooming due to the relatively large zones. The larger size has more granular control with 210 zones, but we expect overall performance to be in the same ballpark. If you want to watch TV in a bright room, then high peak brightness is important to overcome glare. This TV is great in this respect, as the whole screen can get quite bright, and the local dimming allows highlights to be boosted in newer HDR or high dynamic range content. In a bright room, a good anti-reflective coating is also important. This TV performs excellently, so it's a good choice for a room with lots of light. If you've got a wide seating arrangement or like to watch TV with family and friends, then good viewing angles help to ensure no one's left with washed out colors or crushed details. Unfortunately, on this Vizio, the image quality drops dramatically when viewed off angle, so the image is really only best viewed from directly in front. An overall uniform screen brightness and color is important when watching sports or playing video games to avoid the appearance of clouding known as the dirty screen effect. This does vary between units, but we expect the P series we bought to be about typical. Unfortunately, it's only decent, and there is potentially distracting dirty screen effect and darker edges. If you care about vivid colors when watching high dynamic range content, then a wide color gamut is important. The Quantum in the name of this TV refers to the quantum dot technology used to produce deep, saturated colors, and it's no surprise that it does a great job. Some TVs struggle to display smooth gradients, so distracting banding can be noticeable when playing games or watching movies. This TV has a pretty typical performance though, which is great and means that banding shouldn't really be an issue. When watching fast-moving content where clarity is important, such as for gaming, a fast response time is essential for a clear image without too much distracting blur. The P Series Quantum 2021 is only decent though, and especially with dark objects that are moving, some smearing can be noticeable. You can clear this up by flickering the backlight with the black frame insertion feature, but it's not for everyone, as the flicker is very noticeable and pretty intense. A low input lag is also important for a responsive feel when playing video games, and thankfully this TV is excellent here. We had a lot of issues getting high bandwidth signals like 4K 120Hz to work though. If you don't care too much about the details, just note that it can be quite buggy, so if this is important to you, you might want to look elsewhere for now. We tested all 4 HDMI ports over a few days on the latest firmware at the time of this video and found the screen to flicker periodically, or often the TV would just not display the signal at all. We tested this with both AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards, and unfortunately, these types of bugs seem to be a fairly common issue. What's really surprising though is despite our issues using higher bandwidth HDMI 2.1 signals from different PCs, on both the PS5 and Xbox Series X we didn't have any issues. The high bandwidth support means that games feel responsive with a 120Hz refresh rate. Like other Vizio TVs, this one uses the SmartCast platform. It's user-friendly, but feels slow and laggy at times. We also experienced lots of bugs during testing. On top of the issues with 120Hz support, often the TV remote would stop registering commands and would restart the TV to fix it. The TV also turned off without notice many times while testing in a number of different situations. Unfortunately, we've had many of these types of issues with the SmartCast platform. The sound of this TV is decent and about typical of many TVs. Having said that, TVs are getting thinner and thinner, and good sound doesn't seem to be much of a focus. So if this is something that you care about, then an external soundbar or speakers is the way to go. And in this case, the stand is also designed for it. So that brings us to the main question. Should you buy this TV? Well, while it looks great on paper and often does have the performance to back it up, it's hard to recommend a TV with so many bugs. If you're after a budget TV in a 65-inch size, then check out the Hisense U8G. The Android platform is less buggy, and it also has better local dimming. Another great Android TV option is the Sony X90J, which is a great choice, but the brand does come with a bit more premium price tag.